Right now we're headed to City of Industry. We're taking a little adventure to Frank & Sons Collectibles Show. And if you don't know what Frank & Sons is, today I'm gonna show you. Well, it's a gloomy, rainy day, and so today we have to do rainy day activities, and that's why we're going to Frank & Sons. So Frank & Sons is a large warehouse. I think it's open 3 days a week now, and it's basically like a swap meet. A bunch of independent vendors selling mostly like 80s and 90s toys, comic books, trading cards, anime stuff. You'll also find other things like records, t-shirts, pins, but a lot of toys and stuff of that nature. And the prices usually aren't very great, but you'll find a lot of cool stuff in there. This Frank & Sons that we're going to today, this is their new location. They've actually been there for a while now, but they used to be, for a very long time, they were in another warehouse a few miles down the road. That was much smaller, much hotter, had a lot less parking. The building that they're in now, I believe it used to be a Sam's Club before it was Frank & Sons. It's much larger, it has air conditioning, it has a lot more parking, it's much cleaner. So yeah, this is the new Frank & Sons is a much better experience. So, all right, we're almost there. All right, there it is, Frank & Sons Collectibles Show. I'm curious to see how crowded it is with the weather being so bad. Usually on a Saturday afternoon, it's pretty awful in here, pretty crowded. We'll see. All right, that was completely awful. I wish I brought an umbrella. Okay, so this is the lobby. You can kind of tell it used to be a grocery store. This is where they would have had like the shopping carts and vending machines and stuff. They've got video games in here. Sometimes they have people come here and do signings, and it's usually inside, but every once in a while they'll have them set up over there. Actually, the last time we were here, Danny De La Paz from Blood In, Blood Out and Boulevard Nights was set up over there. Yeah, I just noticed that. I've never noticed that before. That's right there at the exit when you're walking out. All right, here we are. As you can see, it's very large. A lot of stuff to see. We're probably only going to see a fraction of it today. So we'll come down here, we'll start on one end and just work our way through. Let me show you some of the stuff over here in these glass cases. There's some really cool stuff in here. Now we'll go this way. So this stuff isn't, there's stuff like everywhere you look. So this stuff over here isn't for sale. This is like the owner's personal collection, but there's some really cool stuff in here. How cool is that? Who had some of these Smurfs figures back in the day? Right there, that's my personal favorite. Kind of hard to see because of the glare. They got the Corey Webster skateboard and then Corey Webster. There's Hook. Yeah, that's a little bit better. And they also have that version. Foo's Gone Wild. Over here they got a bunch of old McDonald's stuff. There used to be a vendor here that she was a McDonald's lady. She had all kinds of old McDonald's stuff. Oh, there she is. She passed away, so this is a tribute to her that they have. Oh, there's her old booth at the old location. Bunch of old lunch boxes in here. I guarantee you, if you had an old lunchbox in the 80s, 90s, even the 70s, you're probably gonna find it here. Look at that, emergency. That's awesome. SWAT, Rambo. There's the one I had, elementary school. That was my lunchbox. So many good ones in here. Look at that. That's awesome. I was so focused on Biz Markie, I didn't even notice Mr. Bean right next to him. Like I said, the stuff over here isn't for sale, but there's so much to look at. Now that's a real Toys R Us sign. You don't realize how big they are. I mean, there's the R. You don't realize how big they are until you're up close. Got some original Mad Balls back there, still in the package. Slobulous, that's the one I had. And who remembers the full-size football? Got an old BMX bike collection hung up here on the wall. Do you see the bike you had? So things aren't really split up into different categories, but there are some sections that cater more to one type of a thing than other. So this first aisle is a lot more of like anime stuff, something that I'm not really into, never been a fan, but it is something that's really big, especially right now. So this section is always has a lot of people. Now this is the third row, and you'll notice that this has a lot of sports stuff. You'll find sports stuff and anime stuff all throughout the place, but these rows, you know, are where you'll find the majority of it. Sports cards, you know, autographed stuff, all, you know, anything sports related. I just always really enjoy seeing the boxes of old baseball cards. Reminds me of going to the baseball card store with my parents when I was a kid. Now, another thing that you're gonna find a lot of here is Funko Pops. Of course, that's something that's really big, and you're gonna find some that are ridiculously expensive, like this Wonder Woman for $2,000, Jimi Hendrix $180. I mean, when you compare it to Wonder Woman, it's not too bad. SpongeBob SquarePants for $750, Spider-Man for $1,000. What do we got here? Oh, a Otter Pop for $550. Harry Potter $1,000. Trying to see what the most expensive one in here is. I think it's that Wonder Woman. Wait, what am I missing? Oh, wait. My son just pointed this out to me. LeBron James, $4,500. Wow. Would any of you pay $4,500? Freddy Funko, only $825. Or you can get that Freddy Funko for $300. That one for $725. Oh, $1,500 for that one. And I get it, you know, those are like super rare. Oh, hey, a Ghostbuster.
Who are you gonna call? Your mom.
Have you been looking for a cape or elf ears or a witch hat? Well, now you know where to come to get it. Another thing you'll find a lot of here is pins, if you're into pin trading. Another thing that I never got into, my son got into it for a minute. I don't know, I couldn't get into it, but you know, it's like collecting anything else. It's all about the hunt, trying to find that rare one that you can't find anywhere. So I get it. Now we're talking. This is more my speed.
So it might have something to do with that.
And this place is cool. Good deal on shirts. 12 bucks each, and there's some pretty cool shirts in here. If I didn't already have a ridiculous amount of t-shirts, I'd probably load up every time I came here. Well, they've got one of the lions that I need to complete my Voltron, but with no head, which is pretty common. It's hard to find them with a head. Another thing, of course, that you'll find a lot of is video game stuff. Video games, you know, big part of the 80s and 90s. So this right here is one of my favorite booths, but the prices have gotten so high that I can't really afford to buy anything from here anymore. Like, the price of trading cards is just out of control. But if you like trading cards, especially non-sports trading cards, this is the place to go. If you're a Garbage Pail Kid fan, this guy has got everything. Every series that you could imagine, every show that you could imagine, and you can see some of them here. Stuff that you didn't even know existed. Sealed boxes, fresh packs, single cards, you name it. Saved by the Bell, the college years. Killer Clowns, that's actually something new. I've got one of these, the A-Team Rack Pack. Just kind of point out some of my favorites here. Cyndi Lauper, that's a great one. Back to the Future. Rocky, Gremlins, 21 Jump Street, Growing Pains, Goonies, Coneheads, Mork and Mindy, MASH. I mean, there's so many. So what I was saying about it being so expensive now is the price of trading cards is just gone through the roof. You can see Garbage Pail Kids single packs, 15 bucks per pack. When I first started coming to this place, they were around, depending on what series you got, they were around like $3 or $4. And yeah, price, like I said, prices have just gone through the roof. These are all sealed, unopened boxes. Of course, you're gonna find a lot of comic books and comic related stuff. Wouldn't be collectibles if you didn't have comic book stuff. There's quite a few comic book booths here. More anime stuff. There's anime stuff everywhere now. Way more than when I first started coming to Frank & Sons. I've probably been coming to Frank & Sons for about 15 years or so, and I'd say the two things that have changed the most is the amount of anime stuff and Funko Pops. Those things were not, I mean, I'm sure they were here. I don't know when Funko Pops became a thing. I don't remember them being around back then. I'm sure there was anime stuff here, but not the way that there is now. So those are the two biggest changes since I first started coming here. Less action figures, more Funko Pops. Do you see any juice glasses that you had as a kid? Here in the back corner is where you'll find a lot of the comic book stuff. Again, comic books sprinkled all throughout the entire place, but the back corner is where you'll find a lot of it. Oh, There he is. There's the man, Danny De La Paz, hanging out. And then this is the last section of Frank & Sons, a room that I don't really go into very much. This is where you're gonna find your Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't know, everything of that genre. I don't know what else there is. I'm not into that stuff, but if you are, this is where you're gonna find it. And they used to have tables set up where people could play Magic the Gathering together. And I don't know, they got rid of those tables. Maybe there were fights that were breaking out, Magic the Gathering fights, so they had to get rid of them. I don't know. Now you can find almost anything 80s and 90s toy related here at Frank & Sons. However, one thing, the prices are not usually very cheap. Here's a good example. He-Man, $125. Man-E-Faces, $200. Skeletor, $200. So yeah, this right here is so cool. Pee-wee's Playhouse lunchbox, $185. I gotta tell you, I'm tempted. I don't have $185 to spend on a lunchbox, but if I did, that would be the one. Lots of different action figures, lots of G.I. Joe action figures. But again, the prices may not be what you can afford. Or maybe you can. I can't. All right, well, that's gonna do it for our trip to Frank & Sons. I just wanted to quickly kind of show you this place. Maybe you didn't know that this place exists. And yeah, now you do. All right, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.